There's very little law and order, but lots of laughs as those offbeat boys in blue recruit civilians to help stop crime in Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. Next.
An evil force took his life. An unearthly power has brought him back.
Are you new in town?
Yeah. Who's the kid?
Turned my back, and the next second he was there.
But the new kid in town has an old score to keep.
Who is that guy? A wraith, man! A ghost!
Charlie Sheen.
You know who I am.
The Wraith. Tomorrow on HBO. Watch out for it.
Ever since she was a little girl, Molly McGrath's whole life was football.
You want to coach football? You really want to coach football? Fine, you got it. At Central High. Oh, my God.
And suited up and ready to play, Coach.
Leon, the 5 and field minutes.
How'd your folks let you get like this? Are you kidding? He probably ate his folks.
Are you sure I'm the right person for this job?
So you're here to tell me that you don't like me coaching at Central?
I hate you coaching at Central.
Tough.
You make this point and every girl in the free world will want you.
Goldie Hawn.
For a second, I thought you were Bubba Smith.
Tell us what to do.
Where, you turkey?
All right.
Wildcats. Wednesday on HBO.
Your mama said you ugly. Hey!
If you missed the HBO Comedy Hour Live with George Carlin, you missed A Night of a Thousand Faces.
It's straitjacket night.
And jokes about Ronald Reagan and more funny faces. And jokes about evangelists, joggers, bank tellers, and still more funny faces. The HBO Comedy Hour Live with George Carlin.
I'd like to repeat that because it sounds vaguely important.
Thursday on HBO, the home of comedy.
I've had a lot of blind dates. Most of them pretty good. One or two disasters.
Blind dates, I find, are very unusual experiences.
I wasn't permitted to go on blind dates. My parents were against it.
My roommate set me up on a blind date about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was my first and last.
I've had a few dates on which I wish I had been blind.
Blind dates. Most of us have tried them to mixed results. In TriStar Pictures' new release, Blind Date, Bruce Willis is the single, upwardly mobile guy who can't find a date when he desperately needs one to take to that big client banquet.
I know someone. Her name is Nadia Gates. She's Susie's cousin.
Said I don't want to hear about it.
Don't you trust your own brother?
He walked in and my roommate was barking. And she's like, ruff, ruff. I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble.
Nadia's an amazing woman. She just moved back into town. She's staying in a hotel and she wants to meet people.
What's she like?
She's a sweetheart. Good sense of humor. Lots of fun. You are going to love her.
No, I am not going to love her because this is not going to happen.
Suit yourself. But I give her my highest recommendation.
Huh? Talk about the kiss of death.
Never in my life. Never been on one. I've set up a few, but I've never been on one.
I think they're exciting and they're a challenge.
Is she reasonably good looking?
Reasonably doesn't begin to describe it. I'm looking at a picture of her right now, and I'm telling you, she's an honest-to-God knockout.
Ted, just this once, please. The truth.
Oh, my God, I almost forgot. Listen, don't get her drunk. She loses control completely.
But don't get her drunk. If you get her drunk, she loses control.
Ted, are we talking about a loss of inhibitions here, or does she pee on the floor?
And how much luckier could Bruce be? Director Blake Edwards cast the beautiful Kim Basinger opposite Bruce as the perfect blind date dream come true.
It's your chance to run for it. Your very last chance. You missed your chance.
I'm glad.
My father used to ask me to have these blind dates. I said, oh, Daddy, I can't go out with these two guys. He'd say, oh, I know, but the two of you, you'll double date, and somebody will be with you, and you go to this party, and you come home, it'll be at 10:30, it'll be over. I said, I can't stand it. I did it a couple of times. I hated it. Passion. So, yes, I have had, those, if you call this blind dates. Yes, yes.
You know, the mind blocks out bad memories and pain, and I kind of think it was like a bad memory, like there's something that happened then that it's just too hideous to remember.
Laura Davis, gynecologist.
Walter, I know these people.
Great. Let's mingle.
No!
106, at the form, 24 seconds left in the game. Lakers down by 1, Magic pumps, shoot! Lakers win it out of side, folks! Boston fans, do I hear a mambo? No, come on!
And so begins one of the more frightening tales concerning blind dates. It's not always a pretty picture, usually a very funny story.
Oh, Walter. Your beautiful car.
Think of the bright side. What the hell else could happen?
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Olympian Mark Breland, vengeful former champ. Marlon Starling, brawling welterweight champion. Rodolfo Aguilar, #1 ranked contender. Julio Cesar Chavez, undefeated lightweight champion. Twice in one night, WBA lightning strikes. Fighter of the Year Chavez defends his lightweight title versus Aguilar. Starling defends his welterweight title in a vaunted rematch with Breland. A dynamite doubleheader, live on HBO, Saturday, April 16th.
You know what's so great about cable TV? It's different. It can cover things in depth. Look at cable news, documentaries, comedy, sports events. Why, cable can even bring you something entirely special like a World Championship boxing match from here in Tokyo, Japan. And you don't have to watch it all to enjoy the pleasure of knowing that it's all there. That's what's wonderful about cable. All kinds of programming for all kinds of different people.
Get set for a night of law and disorder right here on HBO. At 7:30, they're swearing out warrants and swearing in civilians in Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol. At 9, Jack and Julie strive to survive a high-anxiety birthday in Blake Edwards' That's Life. At 11, a family faces the fear and fury of a terrible tragedy. They're ordinary people. A searing celluloid night of entertainment right here on HBO.
The following movie has been rated PG by the Motion Picture Association of America. Parental guidance is suggested.
Zip your lips out your butts to the thing, listen hard!
They're lean! They're mean! They're a super fantastic fighting machine! Yes, your favorite gang of graduates are back! You're kidding? No kidding. And this time they're on a mind-boggling mission.
It's a matter of the mind being mightier than the bosom.
Can they train a brand new bunch of crime busters?
Where do I go to register?
And save their beloved academy before it's too late. You want to kill me? Do it, do it, do it!
Don't move! They're back! Go ahead. Make my day.
Whoa, yes! Team up with Steve Gutenberg, Bob Goldthwait, Bubba Smith,
I'm on my way.
George Gage, and the whole gang as Police Academy 3 goes back in training.
You've got to show them who's boss.
Tomorrow on HBO.
Shit!
Kvetch, kvetch, kvetch. Next on the Sunday night movie, Jack Lemmon winds his way through a midlife crisis, while Julie Andrews tries to cope with his moods in Blake Edwards' That's Life. Next.
Less than 12 hours ago, this man had a good job, a new car, a promising future, and a blind date.
Somebody tell me where that red dress goes.
Listen, don't get her drunk. She loses control completely.
She loses control.
Bruce Willis, Kim Basinger, and John LaRoquette.
Moonwalk!
Blind Date premieres Saturday. You're watching HBO.
(1942) and the world was at war. But in Jerusalem there was hope, a chance for love, although not for a Protestant and a Jew. He was an American soldier on leave, and she was a Jew who dared to love him. It was a romance threatened by the power of an unrelenting tradition that tested their passion.
I've asked you 3 times now. What are they going to do to her?
They will be very, very angry.
Mrs. Pereira, it's not what you think. Let me just speak
Go
with Sarah.
away before I call the police.
Sarah, just listen to me. I have to leave in the morning, but I'll be back. I promise you I'll be back, and then we'll straighten this whole mess out.
To follow her heart, she must defy all that is sacred and risk being outcast by her family. To follow custom would mean sacrificing the love of her life.
Not marry anybody else. Do you hear me? You can't.
Tom Hanks in a powerful love story about 2 people who are so close, yet worlds apart. Every time we say goodbye on the next Sunday night movie.
Behind the mask of control, a family faces the fear and fury of a terrible tragedy. Mary Tyler Moore, Donald Sutherland, and Timothy Hutton star in Ordinary People, next.
Hi, I'm Tony Roberts. Coming up in this break, I'll be guest hosting the latest edition of HBO Entertainment News. So stay tuned.
It's the most powerful thing about Vietnam I've ever seen.
The soldiers were average age 18, 19 years old.
Most of them didn't even know where Vietnam was.
Give me the train!
And it's what they had to say about being there.
Reminds me a lot of the good times and some of the bad times, too.
As close as you can get. Dear America, Tuesday on HBO.
See it twice. Think about it.
I saw this guy coming through the crowd, and he had this big knife. And he was walking right towards you, so I assumed he was coming for you, so I jumped it. I tackled an irate husband.
You what?
Turns out he was only looking for his wife.
The Night of the Twinkies, with Waylon Jennings' views on campaign affairs.
You gotta be a lead dog. You gotta jump out there and jump on somebody, beat them up.
The press's views on private affairs.
Did you know I had anything on 10?
Gephardt's views on Gore's affairs.
Lately, you've been sounding more like Al Higgs than Al Gore.
And TJ's views on affairs of an altogether different nature.
You don't think he's cute?
He's cute, but he's a musician.
So?
Don't miss the latest chapter of Tanner 88, premiering Tuesday on HBO. The spotlights on original drama, Tuesday nights in April on HBO Showcase. First,
This is the state-of-the-art shelter.
15 people volunteer for an experiment.
Our survival on this earth is not a subject for a classroom lecture any longer.
But can they survive each other? An international all-star cast in control. Then the true story of a complex espionage case.
You telling me you know something about Lee Harvey Oswald?
He seemed to know everything.
Still, he could be a time bomb, and he could blow in our faces.
Tommy Lee Jones stars in Yuri Nosenko, KGB. Then, 4 old friends get together for their regular poker game, and the emotions fly in half a lifetime. Next, the Vietnam War's peace demonstrations led to one of the most bizarre legal battles in history.
I'm warning you that the court has the right to gag you. That speaks louder than words.
Conspiracy, the trial of the Chicago 8. For outstanding drama, it's HBO Showcase, every Tuesday night in April at 10, 9 Central Time on HBO.
To the Hoosiers, basketball is king.
Basketball hero around here is treated like a god.
To the coach, it's his life.
It's got to work out this time. Or that's it for good.
Unless he makes more enemies than points.
Petition's been issued. I question a referendum on your removal as basketball coach.
But if he can do it his way, this little town could grab a shot at winning big.
In my book, we're going to be winners.
Gene Hackman, Barbara Hershey, Dennis Hopper, Hoosiers. Thursday on HBO.
In the next HBO Pictures presentation, look for more quality entertainment produced especially for you when 2 of today's bright new talents star in a story of love on the run. Andy Garcia is Clinton. He's in the import business.
Did you bring anything into the country with you, sir?
Bunch of socks.
Ellen Barkin is Nadine. She's in the service industry.
I just met the wrong people at the right time, that's all.
They both have plans to relocate.
So now what?
Blackjack. Atlantic City. You can win a lot of money with the right system.
Until they stumble into someone else's business.
A man's been shot. I need an ambulance.
The evidence suggests a professional hit.
Well, I came across a tape. 2 guys tortured and killed a man named Sanchez.
I raised money for the freedom fighters in Nicaragua. A lot of money.
Clinton and Nadine. This could be a love story, but you wouldn't bet on it.
You don't know me.
Oh, I know you.
So they're playing for time and playing for keeps, racing to beat the odds.
Tell me that you love me or I'll cut your heart out.
Clinton and Nadine. Stars Ellen Barkin, Andy Garcia, and Academy Award nominee Morgan Freeman. Coming in May from HBO Pictures.
The best in television. Nobody brings it home like HBO.
Hi, I'm Tony Roberts, your guest host for this week's edition of HBO Entertainment News. I'll be telling you about my new film, 18 Again, a little later on. But first, here's what's going on in the world of entertainment. Atlantic Records is having a 40th birthday bash on May 14th at Madison Square Garden, and HBO will be there live for a 4-hour concert celebrating the label's history of hits. Among the outstanding recording artists scheduled to perform are Phil Collins and Genesis, Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, Robert Plant, and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and the list keeps growing. British comedian Ben Elton was out on the town this week doing some publicity for HBO's next comedy hour, Live from London. The show will highlight the best of the British comedians and will be hosted by Elton, who also hosts the English TV hit Friday Night Live.
Which differs from your Saturday Night Live in 2 main respects. 1, it's on a Friday, and 2, it's funny. No, only joking.
Well, back home, spring's balmy breezes gets a lot of people thinking about baseball, and former Bronx bomber Mickey Mantle is anticipating a good season. For hungry sports fans, that is. Though his restaurant, Mickey Mantle's, has been open for only a short time, business has been booming. And to Mickey's surprise, it's the lure of good food and conversation that makes his place a hot ticket for all sports fans.
Here, and people love to stand around and talk baseball and basketball. And like last night, we had the Rangers game on, and I mean, they really get after it. I think the hockey fans are the most staunch of any of them.
And at the box office, you'll find me co-starring in a new movie with George Burns. I play George's son, and the 92-year-old gets to play 18 again.
I wish I was 18 again, going where I've never been. But old folks and old oaks standing tall just pretend I wish I was 18 again.
I'm Tony Roberts for HBO Entertainment News.
Vietnam. The emotion and tragedy of that war will be brought home in Dear America, Letters Home from Vietnam,
premiering in April on HBO. The story is told through the actual words written by soldiers in the field, some of whom never came back. Their letters are read by an impressive array of actors, such as Robert De Niro, Michael J. Fox, Brian Dennehy, and Tom Berenger. A series of screenings were held across the country. The first at the National Press Club in Washington brought together politicians and prominent media personalities. One of the guests was Massachusetts Senator John Kerry, himself a Vietnam veteran.
It brings back the war in ways that a lot of us never saw it because we never saw the film footage like that and linked it to the letters. I think a lot of us avoided it after we came back for a period of time, so it's a very real reminder. It tugs at you, gives you a lot of heartache and a lot of tough moments.
Sander Van Oker, who appears in the film, was an NBC News correspondent in Vietnam. He compares his own experience with the film.
I thought, as I looked at it, going back to the middle 60s, there was a certain inexorable tragedy. And I don't know how it could have been stopped one way or the other. And that's what I suppose made me so mad. Because if you were reporting there and trying to say some of these things, it seemed like no one was listening. But it was a very moving experience and a great piece of art.
A screening held in Los Angeles was attended by several of the actors whose voices are heard in the film. Tim Quill, who appeared in Hamburger Hill, talked about his contribution to Dear America.
My letter is a guy writing home to his brother, and he's saying, you know, it's not that I don't understand this war, it's just that I don't understand war in general.
Hey, brother. This place is sort of getting to me. I've been seeing too many guys getting messed up, and I still can't understand it. You sort of sit back and ask yourself, why? What the hell is this going to prove? And man, I'm still looking for the answer.
The New York Public Library, one of the city's great landmarks, was the site of another screening of Dear America. Veteran CBS News correspondent Mike Wallace was moved by the film's poignant message.
I think that in the space of an hour or a little bit more, what it does is evoke memories of what happened back then, here and there, and in a strange way, in an almost kaleidoscopic way. It reminds us of our mistakes, of our folly, of the sacrifice of the young. I defy you to sit through that Silent Night, Merry Christmas Eve scene without crying.
Ed Koch, New York City's outspoken mayor and sometime movie critic for the New York Post, gave Dear America a rave review.
Well, I have seen almost every film on the war in Vietnam, and I can tell you that Dear America, the film that's being seen tonight and produced by HBO, is the best film, the most moving film, and the film that will last the longest in terms of recording what happened there.
This has been an HBO location report.
When I look at cable TV, what I see is as rich and diverse as the 50 states. I see programs of news, sailing from Australia, documentaries, and comedy, even she-bop shows from the 50s. There's so much. You may not be able to watch every show on every channel, but it's great to know it's all there. That's what's wonderful about cable. It provides all kinds of programs for all kinds of people.
Once upon a time, there was a family, a little uprooted by life. They had a new house, a new job.
I'm not new to business. I just can't imagine things have changed so much in 13 years.
A new school, and a new neighbor.
Found out about the boy next door.
Doctors haven't been able to get a word out of him.
Hi, Eric.
Maybe a friend could.
Eric, get away from the edge! How did you get in here, Eric?
Would you be afraid of a balloon falling?
He can fly.
You know, sometimes we need to believe in a little magic, especially when there's so much pain.
Once upon a time, there was a girl who could dream, and a boy who could fly. Because anything is possible. You just have to believe. The Boy Who Could Fly. Friday. Enrico Giamande spends 8 hours a day training to be the finest racer in all of Italy. But Enrico has a problem. He's not in Italy. He's in Bloomington, Indiana.
Papa! Ciao, Papa!
And he's not Enrico Giamande.
Oh, grazie, Tante Santa Maria.
He's Dave Stoller.
He was as normal as pumpkin pie, and now look at him.
But Dave's not crazy. He's on the road to adulthood. Breaking Away, the story of 4 guys in imminent danger of turning 20.
How you doing, guys?
Well, we're a little disturbed by the developments in the Middle East, but...
Who refuse to give up immaturity without a fight.
Smart move, Shorty.
Breaking Away, somewhere between growing up and settling down.
April showers may bring flowers, but April's blooming with hits on HBO.
First of all, let's be real friendly here, okay? My name is Norm. Secondly, your coaching days are over.
His methods are strange.
Team.
And his discipline is tough.
Sounds like we're in the Army. You are in the Army. You're in my Army.
But his way could make the team this town has only dreamed of. Gene Hackman and Barbara Hershey in the movie audiences cheer, Hoosiers. Bruce Willis has it all.
I'm glad.
Until he meets Kim Basinger,
Hey!
her psychotic ex-boyfriend, and the LAPD all on one blind date he'll never forget.
But it's worth it.
They're back.
You see, the police academy is offered to train your citizens to better protect yourself.
Those fearless, footloose fighting machines.
Do we get to pack heat?
In Police Academy.
Oh!
Citizens on patrol.
Citizens on patrol.
Then,
There's more.
Yeah.
you bet. And Burt Reynolds is warming up for a little action.
Put your dukes up. Let me see what you got. That's it?
Well, for now, yes.
He doesn't get any hotter than heat. Keep the fire burning when Rutger Hauer sizzles as a bounty hunter who becomes the hunted.
That bullseye's back.
He's wanted, dead or alive.
You're losing your bait.
You know what happens when you put a live lobster in boiling water?
He dies?
Do you know what happens when you put a hypochondriac, a songbird, and a sauce saint all in one movie?
I hate that.
Well, that's life.
I'm Lulu.
Charles, pleased to meet you.
When Jeff Daniels hooks up with Melanie Griffith,
I've never done anything like this before.
Don't worry, Charlie, I have.
the result is something wild.
I can hardly wait.
Say hello to Tom Hanks.
Then I guess this is goodbye.
He's landed in the middle of World War II and a forbidden romance. Parting is such sweet sorrow every time we say goodbye. And coming soon, Whoopi G in Burglar, Michael J in The Secret of My Success, and especially for HBO viewers, Clinton and Nadine.
This is great.
This is HBO and our April movie lineup.